Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to this week's marketing training as we get going here on this Friday morning for me, afternoon for others. Really happy that you're here. If you're able to join me live, looks like we have a couple folks maybe making their way in. If you're joining me live, I would love A, to know that you can hear me, and B, to know where you're joining me from. The benefit of being here live is that you can ask questions. I would love to clarify anything that I chat about that you might be wondering around. If there's something that you're struggling with related to your website that you would like to throw in the comments, I'm always happy to address those. So, as we get going, we'll give folks just a couple minutes to join. We had quite a few people interested in this. I want to give you an opportunity to log on if you're able. If you're catching the replay of this, that's okay too, whether that is this afternoon or a year from now. If you'll just do me a favor and drop a hashtag replay into the comments, that will make sure that I see any questions or comments you may have, because I'm still happy to address anything related to your website, even if it's not right now in this moment. So if this is your first time joining me, we had over 100 people join in just the last 7 days, which is crazy. I'm so thrilled that you're here. My name's Anna. Really, really happy you've decided to join this community where we are dedicated to marketing yourself in a way that isn't just effective, because I believe you deserve to get booked out doing what you love, but is also authentic to the work that you do. It's really important to me and really important to you being effective, that you're putting yourself out there in a way that feels really genuine and exciting to you. So we bring those two things together, and I give you practical tips you can put into action. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So we're diving into how to structure your practice website. This is something I've been chatting about with clients of mine quite a bit in just the last couple weeks, and something that I know is on a lot of your radars when it comes to improving your website, building your website if you're don't yet have one, whatever that is. So we're going to be talking about how to lay out the website so that it actually works, right? Hopefully by now you know that your website is so important to your marketing. It is your virtual front door. It's your home base. It's where any type of marketing that you do is most likely to lead back to. Now, whether that is on Psychology Today and someone reads your profile and clicks to your website, or you are networking with someone and they Google your name, or someone Googles trauma therapy and you're a trauma therapist, or someone searches therapy near me and you show up in Google. All of this is leading to your website. Your website is so important, and because it's so important, it has a massive job to do. Now, you've probably heard people say, like, oh yeah, my website gets me clients. And so the question is, well, how, right? Because just having a website is not enough. You might know that if right now you have a website and you're not getting the results that you want from it. So there's a lot of things that go into making an effective website. We're not going to beat around the bush on that. But the fact is that at the very foundation of those clients that are getting results from their website, of the clinicians that I've worked with that regularly receive inquiries through their site, there's a foundational strategy in place. And that's what I want to walk you through today. So it's the journey that we're taking that person on through your website and making sure that we're mindful of that. Because just slapping something up there with, what you're passionate about, your logo and a button to, contact you is not going to get us clients. So what is? Let's talk about that today. So the two things I want you to understand as we are thinking about this journey we create and how we structure your website is that your website overall needs to communicate two things to your ideal client. Number one, I understand you. And number two, I know how to help solve your problems. Notice that's not what you're passionate about. That's not where you went to school. It's not the name of your practice. It is focused on them. I understand you, and I know how to help you solve your problems. Your website is not about you. Your website is about your clients. So with that understanding, let's talk about how you structure your site. So there are 3 core pages that I want you to think about your website in regards to your homepage, which is your homepage, right? The main page, the place that people are most likely to land when finding you for the first time. Your about page, which is not a page that, despite the name, is actually about you, and we'll get into that a little bit. And then your specialty pages. These are pages dedicated to your different focus areas as a clinician. Now, this might be grief, trauma, and anxiety. This might be children, teens, and young adults. This might be couples work and individual work. But these are the focus areas of your practice, the ways that you can break down the work that you do into buckets. So those are those specialty pages. Now, why are each of these important? Well, because they all have unique purposes. Every single one of these pages has a different purpose and therefore needs to have a different strategy in place in order for it to be effective. So again, if we think about this overall journey of I understand you and I know how to help solve your problems, how does each of these pages satisfy that message, right? So as we think about your homepage is the place where you are going to be able, where you're going to offer a place that each of your different flavors, your different types of ideal client that you like to work with can see and connect with you. And so say you work with children, teens, and young adults. On our homepage, we need to address things that are relevant to our children, our teens, and our young adults. We call that your red thread. So your homepage is all about your red thread. It's about acknowledging the problems that have brought them here today, letting them know in no unclear language what it is that you do, offering your areas of expertise, those specialties that we talked about, and starting to form that connection and starting to display, I understand you and I know how to help solve your problems. The best way I like to think about a homepage and the way that I coach members of my group coaching program, my one-on-one clients about, our homepage is a launching pad. If someone lands here, we want to get them to the information that they need in order to realize you're the therapist for them as quickly as possible. So there are going to be a couple places from our homepage that we can get deeper into your website. We're going to have a section where we introduce you. Please have a section on your homepage where you introduce yourself. Please have a nice smiling headshot. Let people know what your name is and your approach to therapy, and a button to get into that about page, because sometimes that's the page that they need to land on in order to realize that you're the therapist for them. Maybe they need to land on your individual specialty pages because they really need to understand, okay, how can you help my child? Let's get into that child specialty page. So there's going to be a section of your homepage dedicated to your specialties so that people can get there, buttons to get there. So your homepage should be a launching pad. It should be connecting to and offering a place where all of your different types of ideal clients feel like they belong and can identify with, and then a way to get into the different sections of your website that are ultimately going to show them that you understand them and that you can help them solve their problems. So that's your homepage. If we're talking about your homepage, you have any questions, feel free to drop those into the comments. Now your about page. Your about page is your opportunity to start forming connection. But as I mentioned, it's not actually about you, which is a little bit counterintuitive. Your about page is still about your clients. It's about introducing you through the lens of what's important to them. What's important to your ideal client when they land on your about page? They want to know that you understand them, and they want to know that you can help solve their problems. This is your opportunity to start to set some expectations about how you help them solve those problems. What is working with you like? Why can they trust you? What do you do that's different than other therapists that they may be considering, or other alternatives out there? Maybe your ideal client is a huge self-help guru and they've read the podcast and they've read the self-help books, and something's still not working. What do you offer that those things don't? That's what you get to communicate on your about page. Of course, this is also an opportunity to, show your personality, establish credibility, do all of the things that a traditional bio would, but you need to make sure that you're doing it through the lens of what actually matters to your client. Please don't start your about page with something about how you're passionate about helping people. That's great, and that belongs on your about page, but first, we need to let them know that I understand them. Let them know that we know why they're here, and then talk about the fact that they can trust you because you're someone who gets it, because you've devoted your life to serving this group of people, whatever that is. It's about talking about what you're passionate about, talking about what you're good at, through the lens of why it's important to them. So as you're writing your about page, I encourage you to sort of pass your copy or what you're putting on that page through a filter of, does this matter to my ideal client? Am I saying this in a way that they can understand? That's what we want to do on our about page. It's really an opportunity to start to establish a relationship with your ideal client before they even pick up the phone. That's the beautiful thing, right? When your marketing is doing its job, when your website is forming connection, people are going to get on free consultations feeling like they already understand who you are, right? This is our opportunity to show them what it's like to be in therapy with you without you having to do any of the work. That's why a good website can be so powerful, because you start to form that connection, establish that credibility, facilitate relationship before they even reach out. It does a lot of the work for you, a lot of that hard work for you. So that's your about page. And then your specialty pages. These are the pages that are deep descriptive pages of why you're an expert in the areas that you're an expert in. So the first exercise is determining what you are an expert in and how you're going to be breaking out the work that you do. Like I mentioned, that might be grief, trauma, anxiety. That might be the type of client or the demographic that you serve, the type of therapy. There's a lot of different ways you can break things out. There's not a one size fits all when it comes to what your specialty pages should be about. But this is really, really important because it's giving your ideal client a place that's dedicated to them, right? So there are a couple different flavors or types of ideal client you probably work with. If you're a trauma clinician, you might work with people who know they have trauma and people who don't know yet. Have a page dedicated to the person that doesn't know yet and that thinks or that is describing their challenges as just anxiety. You're going to have a page where we're going to talk about that and then make reference to maybe you've experienced some things in the past that you are wondering might be influencing how you're feeling today. And then we're going to have a trauma page where we're speaking directly to the person that knows they had a certain experience, they want to work on it, and they want to work on it with someone that gets it. Your specialty page is your opportunity to be really, really specific. And to really prove and display your expertise in certain areas. Your specialty pages are also incredibly important for SEO. If your goal is to rank on Google, which that should be every clinician's goal because hello, free marketing, then having specialty pages is also really important as well. Because if you're talking really specifically about one thing that you know clients are looking for, you're also showing Google, hey, I am an expert in this one thing. By creating different specialty pages, you're giving Google an idea of trauma therapy, anxiety therapy, grief therapy, rather than bulleting all of these things out on a single page. Google's not going to look at that and see you as an expert in any one of those things. If instead we have a page on your website dedicated to each of those things, you're giving Google and your ideal client a place to really sink their teeth into and to see you as the expert that you are in those things. So specialty pages are really, really important, not just for your clients, but also for SEO and your likelihood for ranking on Google. So I have flown through this because I would love to answer any questions that you have as you are thinking about your website. But when you think about what your website is ultimately going to look like, I want you to imagine your homepage, and a menu is going to be there at the top. We're going to have About. And when I click on that About page, it's going to bring me to a page where I'm establishing connection and setting expectations. We're going to have a folder or some kind of drop down, specialties, services, whatever that is, and we're going to have specialty pages for each of the different ideal client types that you work with. Maybe we're going to have a page dedicated to FAQs or something where you answer some popular questions. And then we're going to have a button for whatever you want that next step to be. Hopefully that's something like schedule free consultation, book first appointment, whatever that first step is that they need to take in order to get, and to work with this person that understands them and that knows to help solve their problem. We're going to offer a way to do that from the menu of your website. Now, this is the basic framework of a website. If you have more content, awesome. That's just more juice for Google and more juice for your ideal clients. Place anything related to your approaches to fees and policies under that About section. Save your specialties for your specialties. Don't muddy those up so that someone can really, really see what they're looking for. If you have a blog or a place that you're offering education or resources, offer that as another menu item. So About, specialties, blog, contact me, or schedule free consultation or whatever that is. So continue to layer in the additional parts of your website, but do it around this basic framework of these pages, because those are going to be the things that guide your ideal client on that journey, that shows them, hello, I'm the therapist for you, here's why, I get you, and I can help you solve your problems. So I see some questions coming in. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda, you're having it could be me. I have had Wi-Fi issues on these before, so I apologize for that. Shala, can you talk about Squarespace over Wix? My site is on Wix, but I'm concerned about the SEO process. Do I need to hire someone to do a reboot on Squarespace? Squarespace is more robust than Wix in terms of SEO. That is the basic answer. The other basic answer I'm going to tell you, Shala, is that you can have a website on Wix that ranks on Google. It is not preventing you from being successful. Squarespace is more robust and does offer some more flexibility as far as optimizing your website, but you can have a full practice and be on Wix. So I won't get too into it. We could spend a lot of time here around the technical aspects of that. That could be a very wise investment, especially if you want to add on things like blogging, or if SEO is a main focus for you. Moving over to Squarespace may be wise, but I also want to encourage you that being on Wix is not holding you back from being successful in private practice. Edie, do you recommend putting your pricing directly on your homepage? Edie, I recommend being extremely transparent about your pricing, but not on your homepage. I really love to see that either in a lower section of your About page or in a separate page of your website dedicated to something like fees and policies. The reason for that is we want a place where people know what they can expect in charging you. I absolutely think that that is just wise across the board. However, we want to save the really core connection points of your website, such as your homepage, such as your specialty pages. Let's dedicate those to you showing I understand you and I can help solve your problems, so that they get to the bottom of those pages and say, wow, Edie really understands me and knows how to help solve my problems. How much is it going to cost? Instead of price shopping you right on that page. I hope that makes sense. Kristen, would you suggest using one specialty page to talk about multiple things you provide / are an expert in depression, anxiety, teens, or would you suggest having a separate page for each different specialty? Separate pages, Kristen. I like that you're thinking that way. By breaking them up into separate places, you're, again, showing Google, hey, I'm an expert in kids, I'm an expert in depression, I'm an expert in teens. And you're also letting the parent of a teen have a place dedicated to them on a website. You're having the anxious client have a place dedicated to them on the website. It's your opportunity to display your deeper understanding of those different types of ideal clients. Amazing. All right. Shal, I would love to have a power hour with you. That'd be super fun. All right, friends. I'm not seeing any other questions come through, although if you've got them, I'm still keeping an eye on things. Now, what I want you to know is that if you need support in this, there's support available to you. As I mentioned, the folks inside of Confident Copy, my group coaching program, are going through this step-by-step right now. The wait list for Confident Copy 2022, the first round, is now open. If you go to walkerstrategyco.com/cc, you can join the waitlist, absolutely no obligation, but you will secure yourself some savings and additional bonus once doors reopen. Inside of Confident Copy is where I help you figure out what the heck those specialty pages need to be. I walk you through exactly what you need to write on each of these pages, what the SEO needs to be like behind each one of them, how to structure them, and how to make sure that not only are you connecting to your ideal client, but how are you doing it in a way that feels really exciting and genuine to you. I know that a lot of clinicians really struggle to put words to the great work that they do in a way that is going to attract the kind of clients they want to work on or work with, and that's exactly what we work on inside of Confident Copy. So like I said, walkerstrategyco.com/cc, no obligation, just get on that list if you're interested in securing those savings for the 2022 round. Wendy, do you recommend fees and FAQs or a separate tab in the menu? Great question, Wendy. I think you can do either. Certainly a question in an FAQ around, what are your fees? Great place to add them. If you prefer to have a separate page dedicated to fees and policies or something like that you can lead potential clients to, that's a great option as well. I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong there. Tanvi, how many words do you recommend having on each page for SEO? Great question, Tanvi. The length of your content is certainly an indicator to Google of your expertise. Ideally, these pages that you want to rank on Google will be upwards of 500 to 700 words. Now, pages can rank with less than that. Often they rank with more. So definitely plan on having these specialty pages be pretty beefy and pretty robust. Like I mentioned, inside of Confident Copy, I can kind of walk you through what those sections should be like so you know what to write. But you want to say enough that both Google and your ideal client can really see you as the expert that you are. Yeah, Wendy, no problem. Pop it in right here. walkerstrategy.co.com/cc. There you are. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. I hope this has been helpful for you, friends. Remember, at the foundation of a good website is a website that takes people on a journey. And so this journey that I've outlined here is the framework for every website I build for my clients, for all of the coaching and marketing strategy that I offer, because I've seen it work. Because at the end of the day, it's meeting our client at their point of need, and it's displaying your expertise in a way that they can understand and that they can connect to. And by doing that, it makes it easy to invite them into that next step, to schedule that free consultation, and to see you as the expert that you are. Michelle, do you think it's better to have drop-down menus or hide the subpages from navigation and link to them in the content? Have them in the drop-down, definitely. As users, we're very, very used to heading to that menu at the top of a website. Any key or core pages we want people to be able to get to quickly should live there. So definitely drop-downs. Certainly link to them in the content, though. Do both. Definitely not they're not mutually exclusive. Both and is the answer to that one, Michelle. Great question. So friends, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm cheering for you. I love websites. If you can't tell, if you're new here, we talk about websites all the time because I want you to get clients on autopilot. The best way to do that is with a website that is pulling its weight and communicating the wonderful work that you do, attracting the types of clients that you ultimately love to do that work with. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.